this lesson, we're going to be finding the surface area of rectangular prisms. And you'll see the formula listed is 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the width times the height, plus 2 times the length times the height. And when we're done, since it's surface area, it's going to be measured in square units. So when we're trying to find the surface area of something, we might want to be wrapping something. We might want to be painting something. So if you look at, I only have 2 problems here. This problem number 1, here is the original problem. And then I've done some shading. So we're going to be talking about that. So again, I only have 2 problems here, but I have the same shape 4 times so that you can see how I'm going to be marking it. So when I'm looking at the first problem, I see that it has a length of 6, a width of 3, and the height is 12 tall. So when we're using this formula, we are going to be using those dimensions. And the reason I shaded them in so that you're able to see that when we talk about the length times the width, it's really like saying about the top and the bottom of your rectangular prism. So for that, we're going to be doing 2. The length is 6. The width is 3. And we will end up multiplying that together. And we know that 12 times 3 is 36. So now we are going to go ahead and we are going to add that to 2 times the width times the height. And again, I wanted you to see, here's my width and my height is how tall is my object. So it's kind of like the front and the back of this rectangular prism. And you can think about it as being like your cereal boxes. So it's 2 times the width is 3 and the height of this is 12. And when we multiply 2 times 3 is 6 and 6 times 12, we end up with a 72. Okay, and for the last part of it, it's 2 times the length times the height. So the length, again, we see that we have a 6 here, and the height is a 12, and it's kind of like your 2 sides of your prism. So it's 2 times the length was 6, and the height is 12. Well, 2 times 6 is 12, and 12 times 12 is 144. So to solve this, to find the total surface area of this problem, we are going to take our 3 products that we found, and we will add them. And when we add those together, our answer for this is going to be, and I'm going to write it up here, 252 feet squared. So that would be the total surface area of this rectangular prism. Again, I'm hoping that the visual kind of helped. Notice for the second problem, I didn't do any of the pre-shading of it, because I will do that as we're working the problem. So let's look at the dimensions. Oh, we have a 4 for the width, and we have a 4 for the height. So it's not a very tall object. And when we're talking about the length, we see that we have a 13 here. And remember, all of these lengths are the same. So I know that this side right here is 13 meters also. And I know that this one is 13 meters also. So sometimes it helps you to go ahead and to label your drawing. So let's go for the first one. And for this one, it is 2 times the length times the width. So 2 LW is going to be our top and our bottom. And when I'm doing the top and the bottom, this is my top right here. Sorry about not drawing it so straight. And here is my bottom. And notice, with having the top and the bottom, we know that our dimensions are 2. We have a 4 here. And we have a 13. And really, it should be written in the opposite order for the length and the width. So let me correct that. So it's 2 times 13 times 4. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. So when we do 2 times 13 times 4, we end up with, and I'm going to write the numbers up here that we're going to add together. So far, we have 104 for our units. So for the next one, I have 2 times the width times the height. And again, that is our front and our back. So I am going to go ahead. There's my front. Whoops. And here is my back. So we have 2 of those. And notice the dimensions for the width and the height is 2 times the width is 4 and the height is 4. So when we multiply those together, 2 times 4 is 8 and 8 times 4, we end up with a 32. So there are my two numbers so far. And for the last one, we are going to go ahead and we are going to do 2 times the length times the height. And when I do that, remember my length is right here. It's 13. And we said this was 13 and this is 13. So the length of my base, or my length there, is 2 times 13. And again, it was short. So here is my 4. And 2 times 13 is 26. Times 4, we end up with 104. And we are going to add these 3 dimensions together that I have circled, and our total surface area for question number 2, so the surface area is going to be 240 feet squared. Right here is our surface area for the second one. I hope seeing these different boxes will help you when you're doing a problem, but I always, with my students, feel like the shading definitely does help them see where their dimensions are. If this video was helpful to you today, please add a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more Math with Marcia. See you again soon.